getting ready to go. And so thought I'd hop on and say hi, how are you? And hope everybody's having a great week. I know I am. I always do though. I try to anyway. Um, so talking about my life growing up. Well, I grew up very different than how I'm living now. I grew up, well, I was born in a very small town, St. Louis. Were we living in St. Louis? I think we were living in St. Louis when I was born. I don't know, it could have been in Alma, I don't remember. But, anyway, my sister came along in 77, and I was 3 when she was born. I was born in 74. I had a best friend named Dana Sparling who lived like right around the corner from me. And as toddlers back in the day, you could do this seriously. Like, we would walk at 3 years old, we'd be walking around the block. I mean, we were told don't cross the road and stuff. And I think our moms had people watching us, from their houses and stuff. But we would be able to go out like that and not have to worry about getting kidnapped or anything. We would go. I remember this tiny core memories, but I do remember seriously going into a little store, and I mean, it wasn't a food store or anything. I think it was like a clothing store, and we would go in there, and the ladies knew us and would talk to us, ask us how we were doing, ask us how our moms were, and if our moms were with us, and they would just keep an eye on us and then send us on home. But as long as we weren't causing any trouble, they didn't care that we were in there alone, unsupervised. It was so wild. I would never do that to my kids now. But I mean, well, they're adults now, but I would never do that to allow my kids to be out like that. Was my mom and dad bad for that? No, my dad didn't even know. And my mom had a newborn at home, and it was just the way it was. I mean, my mom would go upstairs to change the baby or something and leave me alone for a second, and she would was it before? No, it was when I was a baby. My mom told me that she would I would be sleeping in my playpen. And so she would leave the room to go make something to eat or whatever. And she would come back and she'd be like, I would be nowhere to be found. And I couldn't walk. She'd be like, where is she? And she would listen, and she would hear a bunch of laughter from the back porch. So she'd slip out the side door, go around the side, and there's this group of teenagers from the city, from the neighborhood, had me outside playing with me, laughing with me, making me laugh. Oh my gosh. My mom would be like, ask them if they're good, and they'd be like, yeah, go take a nap, Bev. And my mom would go and take a nap and let these teenagers watch me. It was so funny. And then, back in the day, and back then it was weird. It was like safe. It's strange. But anyway, so as we got older, we needed more space. And so we moved to Alma. Now the first house was in St. Louis, is over by the Tasty Freeze. I remember that because I would remember my mom and dad coming home from church with us girls, and my dad would look at my mom, you want some ICE? And that would be ice cream. Mom would be like, yeah. So we'd do it. And pretty soon, one day my dad's like, hey, Bev, you want some ICE? I go, I know what that means. That means ice cream. And so that was, they had to choose a different code word for ice cream after that. So funny. And so we moved to this other house in Alma, and yeah, and across the street was my best friend. Although I didn't know she was my best friend yet, obviously. And so we moved in there when I was 4. And of course I wanted to meet all the neighborhood kids, but I was so shy. And so my mom would walk me over there, but she'd make me talk to the people. And when I talked to people, I'd cry. I would cry. I'd be like, do you want to be friends? But I met the neighbor girl, and she was so nice, and she liked me, and we hit it off, and I could not pronounce her name to save my life, so it was Papella. Papella, if you're watching, we had good times. She taught me how to ride a bike, and that was cool. We've never forgotten that. We've been best friends forever. We've grown apart here and there, but always came back. Like, we'll always be best friends, always be sisters forever. And so yeah, those were fun times. Oh my God, I'll go more into depth there on another time. But anyway, so lived in Alma, ran the streets. Oh my God, ran the streets with my friends. We lived at the bottom of this hill, and over the hill and across the railroad tracks was the elementary school. So all the schoolgirls, all my school girlfriends would come to my house for orange juice on their way to take me to school. So that was fun. I do remember that. I had quite a few best friends. And yeah, so that's that part of the story, and my video's getting to be a little lengthy, and well, I don't like to sit through long, lengthy videos, and so I'm not going to torture you all. But hey, you know, that's me. I'm all set, all ready to go. Like, so I think I look nice today. So anyway, I hope you guys feel as beautiful as I feel. Have a wonderful night. I'll talk to you again.